Hotel Elite status can give you some of the best perks in the travel industry, from free meals, luxury room upgrades, free nights, and so much more. But with every brand having slightly different loyalty programs, it can be daunting to decide which program you should prioritize and how to actually get more than a free bottle of water from your status. So today, let's break down Hotel Elite status from the Big Four: Marriott Bonvoy, Hilton Honors, IHG One Rewards, and World of Hyatt. Compare the real-world benefits of each program and how you can shortcut your way to VIP treatment without spending 60 nights a year in a hotel. Before we get into the details of each program, what the heck is Hotel Elite status? Well, it's kind of like you are ranking with the hotel. Think bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond. The fancier the status name, the more perks you get. And you can climb the ladder by staying nights, spending money, or holding certain credit cards. And as you're about to see, the perks can be substantial if you play your cards right. All right, but I'm gonna move pretty fast because there's a lot to talk about with each brand, and I don't wanna overwhelm you with a fire hose of information for every single program. So once you decide which program is the right fit for you, we do have detailed written guides on each of them that I'll link to down in the description. But first up is the largest hospitality brand in the world, Marriott. And let's get one thing straight from the start. Yes, it is pronounced Marriott. I know a lot of you don't want to believe me, and it was hard for me to accept it first as well, but whether you like it or not, it is Marriott like chariot. Marriott technically has 6 membership tiers if you include a basic member, which is 9 nights or less per year, going all the way up to Ambassador Elite for those who spend 100 nights per year or more at Marriott properties and spend over $23,000. And this is a great time to mention that I always recommend you go ahead and open up a loyalty account with each brand immediately because it's completely free, and even without staying a single night, you can start to earn some benefits. Plus, while each will vary a little, once you earn status, you'll have it for the remainder of that calendar year and the entire following calendar year. And again, with Marriott, for example, just regular members who haven't spent a single night yet will still get complimentary Wi-Fi and cheaper rates when they book. So even if you don't have a stay in mind, it doesn't hurt to just go ahead and open up an account with each program. Anyway, silver is not worth chasing in my opinion, since 10 nights really only gets you late checkout sometimes. Gold gives you a 25% points boost and the occasional upgrade, but still no free breakfast. Platinum is the sweet spot with Marriott, with free breakfast or lounge access, 4 p.m. late checkout, better upgrades including suites, among plenty of other perks. Titanium and Ambassador really just add more points, upgrade priority, and perks like United Airlines status. But again, Platinum is the sweet spot here. So while 50 nights per year for Platinum Elite might sound insane, you can get yourself over halfway there using co-branded credit cards alone, something that isn't really possible with some other programs, which we'll talk about later. The last 2 things worth noting about Marriott's are the 5th night free benefits on award bookings, where you pay for 4 nights and you get the 5th night for free, and their unique free night awards that can be topped up with an additional 15,000 points. So for example, I had a bunch of 50,000 point free night awards from one of those co-branded credit cards, and by topping them up with an additional 15,000 points, I was able to book a week at a St. Regis property in Europe from the sign-up bonus on a $95 annual fee credit card. Moving on from Marriott, Hilton simplifies things a little bit with 4 status tiers, again, if you include a standard Hilton Honors member. Silver is basically a pat on the back with a small points bonus and the 5th night free on award stays. But gold is the sweet spot with Hilton, in my opinion, with 80% more points, room upgrades, and free daily breakfast for 2 worldwide. From there, diamond gets you everything in gold, plus lounge access, higher upgrade priority, including suites, and a 48-hour room guarantee. But here's the best part about Hilton. you can get Hilton Gold and even Diamond, again, without stepping foot in a Hilton property. Much like Marriott, there are several travel credit cards and Hilton Honors co-branded credit cards that will immediately give you Hilton status. Whether or not that is worth it, well, I'll let you decide, but I'll be honest, as someone who has higher status with almost every major brand, other than the occasional room upgrade, Hilton status isn't exactly the most exciting. It is easy to earn, and the complimentary breakfast that you earn with Gold could save you a lot of money depending on the property, but overall, it's just not anything crazy compared to what we'll talk about next. That being said, their free night awards, while harder to earn, are completely uncapped and can be used pretty much anywhere, but otherwise, I think you'd be better off focusing your efforts elsewhere. Okay, before we get to my favorite hotel loyalty program, let's talk about one that I actually have the least experience with, IHG One Rewards. This is definitely a sleeper program that a lot of people love, and others, myself included, have definitely underused, but IHG once again has 5 tiers. Silver and Gold are pretty light with some extra points, later checkout, maybe a better view, but Platinum gets you 60% more points and room upgrades that are instant with the right IHG co-branded card in your wallet. But Diamond, while harder to earn, is really where it's at with IHG, with 100% more points plus early check-in and late checkout. IHG also uniquely offers a 4th night free benefit, which works in the same way as the 5th night free benefits from the first 2 brands, but is much easier to use on those shorter stays, and their free night awards can also be topped up just like Marriott's, but there is no limits on the top-up amounts, again making them a lot easier to use. And I know that IHG generally gets associated with budget brands like Holiday Inn, but don't forget that they have their fair share of luxury properties as well, with brands like Intercontinental, and they're still one of the largest hotel chains in the world, so if, like me, you haven't spent much time on IHG, then definitely one worth learning more about. All right, last but not least, before we finally get to which loyalty program you should prioritize, the last brand we've got to talk about is, of course, World of Hyatt, who definitely has the smallest footprints of all the brands we've talked about, but what they lack in quantity of properties, they more than make up for in quality. Even more budget-friendly brands like Hyatt Place are consistently reliable, and their high-end brands like Andaz and Park Hyatt have been some of the nicest hotels I've stayed at anywhere in the world. Plus, not only are they the only brand that uses a fixed award chart instead of dynamic pricing, which makes it way easier to maximize the value of your points, but they also offer much more simplified status tiers, starting with a standard World of Hyatt member up to perhaps the most coveted hotel status in the industry, World of Hyatt Globalist. Much like every other brand we've talked about so far, just opening a free account will still get you lower member rates when you book and waived resort fees on award redemptions, which can save you hundreds of dollars at certain properties. Discoverist, which is unlocked after just 10 nights, then gets you late checkout and bonus points. At 30 nights, Explorist will unlock room upgrades, among other benefits. And of course, Globalist at 60 nights gets you club lounge access at certain properties, complimentary breakfast, and 4 p.m. late checkout, just to name a few of my favorite perks. But the downside of Hyatt status is that it is by far the hardest to earn, mainly because you can't really jump ahead using co-branded credit cards. Now, I want to be clear that there are 2 co-branded World of Hyatt credit cards that will give you a few elite night credits, but by and large, the only way to earn higher levels of status with Hyatt is to spend a lot of nights at Hyatt properties. But as you climb from one rung to the next, there are plenty of milestone rewards to be had, including club lounge access rewards, experience credits, and other perks that can give you a taste of the next status tier before you actually get there. All right, I think that still ended up being a fire hose of information, so let's all just take a deep breath. And again, if you want more details on any specific program, I'll link to all of our written guides down in the description. But the big remaining question is, which status should you go after? And it's important that you focus in a bit, because if you just spend 10 nights here and 10 nights there, then you're not really gonna make progress towards any level of status. In my opinion, if you want the most perks for the least effort, Hilton Gold is the clear winner. With the right co-branded credit card, it's instant, and free breakfast worldwide is a tangible benefit that will put money right back in your pocket. If you want decent perks with plenty of availability, Marriott Platinum gives you good benefits and a hotel pretty much anywhere on earth. But if you're chasing the absolute best top tier experience and you think you can hit 60 nights, then Hyatt Globalist is simply unbeatable. I'd say 50% of the time, Hilton and Marriott will give me a slightly larger room or a higher floor, while Hyatt seems to upgrade me almost every single stay. And yeah, sometimes it's just a higher floor, but then there's times like when we were in the Maldives where they upgraded our beach villa to an overwater bungalow that was not only not even available to book with points, but would have cost thousands of dollars more had we paid cash. Or then there was the time in Tokyo where they moved us to a deluxe suite at the Hyatt Centric Ginza, which to this day is one of the biggest hotel rooms I've ever stayed in. And that doesn't even include all of the free meals that we've had at Hyatt lounges, which by the way, even if you're not a globalist, you can earn plenty of club access awards as milestone benefits along the way. So it's probably no surprise that I'm prioritizing World of Hyatt status, and in the off chance you find yourself at a Marriott, Hilton, or IHG property, then like me, you should be able to get mid-tier status simply by signing up for the right co-branded credit card. But as always, that's just my opinion, so let me know which hotel elite status you're prioritizing in 2025, and be sure to check out our top travel credit cards page if you want to learn more about any of the credit cards that I referenced in today's video. As always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.